Okay, in this video, what I'm going to speak about is two of the configurations that are very much important. One of them is peer switch, one of them is peer gateway. Let's start with peer switch. Okay, peer switch makes sure that both switches send the same BPDU downwards. In my case, for example, I have layer 2 right here. And of course, I have a switch down here, but this switch is not part of my layer 2 network. This is going to be the layer 2 network for the tenants, let's say, or for some other, let's say, part of other departments of my network. So I'm not going to make sure, I'm just going to make sure that BPDUs are not sent to switch 1. There is going to be BPDU filter configured in here, so no BPDU is going to be sent downwards, and the switch down here is not going to have any problem with that. But let's say that, for example, for some reason I want to extend this downward. In that case, things are going to be a little bit different. If I want to extend my layer 2 network down to, let's say, these switches down here, then in that case, sending BPDU is going to be important, and there might be some loop avoidance and convergence considerations that we need to take into consideration. But right now, I care about this part of the network, the aggregation switches, which I have configured as a spanning tree route. Let's say this one is going to be a route for some series of VLANs. This one is going to be a route for some other series of VLANs. And overall, what I have is route is up there. So let's say, for example, for VLAN 1, for example, this spanning tree route is going to be placed on S1. Then S1 is going to send BPDUs downward. So this is going to be the path that L1 is going to receive BPDUs. S2 is going to receive it on this port channel. And then L2 is going to receive it like this, right? So these are going to be the ports that we receive BPDUs from. So say for some reason, this port goes down, and I do not really receive any BPDUs from S1. Then in that case, I should receive it from S2, which means that L1 now is going to reconverge. Now this reconvergence is not going to take so long, but let's say even for 1 second, I'm just going to might experience, as a matter of fact, some loops that I don't really want to experience. In that case, what I need to do is to say, okay, I'm not doing this. What I'm doing is I'm just going to make sure that these two switches are peer with each other using the command which is peer switch, configured under vPC domain section. And by configuring that, what is going to happen is both of them are going to send BPDUs downwards, and the BPDU which they sent is going to be exactly the same BPDU. And since this is a port channel, L1 doesn't care whether it receives it on this port or on the other port, right? So they're going to, both of them are advertising the same BPDU downward. So peer switch is going to make sure this is going to happen. If I do not extend my layer 2 down to this switch, let's say, for example, as switch 1, in that case, peer switch does not really have to be configured on L1 and L2, because we don't really care. We don't send any BPDUs downward, so switch 1 doesn't care what is going to happen. So switch 1 sees only one big switch up there, and there's a port channel between that, and then it uses the port channel to send data upward and downward. So in that case, I'm not going to do that. But let's say, for example, for some reason I want to extend my let's say layer 2 spanning tree down to switch 1. In that case, L1 and L2 would be another candidate for configuring peer switch. The other one, which is very important, is going to be peer gateway command. A peer gateway command, of course, is one of those that I always configure, and it has a very, very good purpose when we do that. So when we configure this, let me see what happened to my pen. Okay, so peer gateway is going to be configured where we have our gateways. Here, peer gateway, and my gateways are going to be configured on S1 and S2. I might have VRRP or HSRP configured on S1 and S2, and one of them is going to be active, the other one is going to be passive. You know that, right? And sometimes we configure this and align this with spanning tree route. So spanning tree and FHRP should be aligned. So this means that if, for example, VLAN 10 is active on S1, then I'm just going to make sure that this is going to be the route for VLAN 10, and also HSRP is going to make sure that this is going to be active for VLAN 10. The other one is going to be passive. You know that when you configure in HSRP, for example, one of the switches is going to be active for that specific VLAN, the other one is going to be in standby. And if the first one, the active, goes down or reduces the priority, the other one is going to take over, right? But we can do something. We can say these two are peer gateway. In that case, HSRP configuration is going to be exactly the same as what we had before. And in control plane, one of them is going to be active. The one with the higher priority is going to be active. The other one, and also it is going to answer the ARP ARPs. But the other one is going to be active in data plane as well. So both of them are active in data plane. One of them is active in control plane. So that's going to help a lot because let's say, for example, L1 has a port channel here. We don't really know which one of these ports are going to be used for sending a flow up there. If, for example, this is a VLAN 10 flow, and the flow is, let's say, based on a hash has been placed on E11, it is going to go exactly to S1. Everything is okay. But based on a hash, if we send the flow on E12, then S2 is going to receive it, and S2 is going to send it to S1. This means that our peer link is utilized. We don't really want that. We want that S2 sends it exactly to the destination, whether this is this way, or this way. Like S1 does, right? So both of them are going to be active for data plane in that case. And it doesn't really matter whether we send it on E11 up there or E12 up there on L1. This means that both of them are going to receive this. None of them is going to send it to the other one on the peer link. Peer link is going to be empty, and everything seems to be great. Now, configuration of peer gateway is something that we do on even a closed topology. On closed topology, normally what you are going to use is Anycast gateway, but even in that case, configuring peer gateway is going to make sure that all of those are going to be treated the same, and none of them, of course, is going to stop forwarding. So what I'm going to do is to do this. I'm just going to configure peer switch and peer gateway on S1 and S2, and also I need to configure VLANs on this. So if I just go to S1, for example, and log in, 1, 2, 3. What I'm going to do is to say show IP interface brief to see whether I have any interface VLAN. I don't. So I just go to configuration. I'll make sure that feature interface VLAN is there. So this is going to be enabled. And after that, I'm just going to say show VLAN. So you can see that I don't have the VLANs configured on L1. Let me see what VLANs are configured on L1. I want to configure that on S1 as well. So if I say show VLAN, so you can see that we have VLAN 10 to this. So let's say show run include VLAN. So this is the configuration of the VLAN. So what I'm going to do is to copy this and paste it on switch 1 and switch 2. So on switch 1, this is going to configure VLANs. Then comes the interface VLAN configuration. Let's say 10, no shot. Then the IP address. I guess I already have used some, let's just say show IP interface brief. Yeah, 10.10.10 is already used, and on switch 1 I need to change it, right? So on here I want to say IP address is going to be 172.16, let's say 10, this would be, let's say, for example, 21/24. I can say 24, but yeah, let's say 24. And then what I'm going to do is to configure HSRP now. So feature HSRP is already configured. So what I'm going to say is HSRP version 2. Then I'm going to say HSRP, let's say 10, because the group number, I prefer to be like the actual VLAN number. So here we are. And something which is important to understand is this. If I configure this IP 172.16.10, you can see that I am in the same subnet as the interface. So let's say 254/24, then I'm going to receive this. It says that subnet VIP cannot be the same subnet as interface IP. So this is not going to be accepted. On some versions, if I go with this option, secondary, make this IP address a secondary virtual IP address, then this is going to work. But even if here say secondary, this is not going to work. I'm not going to have this configured. So what I'm going to do is to say, let's say the IP address for this is going to be, let's say 110 254, and hit enter. And secondary, of course, I'm not going to have it as secondary. This is going to be the primary VIP address, and hit enter. Okay, so we have this. And also I can set the priority to 120, let's say on this one, to make sure that this is going to be the primary one, the active one actually. So now if I say show HSRP, and here you can say it says I have a priority of 120. I am right now interface down. Let me see why. Show IP interface as brief. It says that interface is admin down, so I should say no shot actually. So now if I say this, interface is still down, but I believe that I have show run interface VLAN 10. I have configured this as no shutdown, so show VLAN brief. We configured the VLAN 10. Okay, so this is active, and this is active on some of the ports actually. So if I say show interface trunk, I should say that VLAN 10 is active on all the trunks. So say VLANs are allowed, and they are active on here. So spanning tree forwarding is being done. So everything seems to be good, right? But on port channel 10 and 11, I don't have this. So let me see. Show run interface PO1. So we did not say this should be eliminated from here. Show vPC. Okay, the other side is not having this kind of configuration. So we are going to have consistency problems because we did not configure VLANs on the other side. So I'm just going to say show, we are going to configure this on the other side. So let's say show run interface VLAN 10 with HSR configuration. And also show run include VLAN. I'm just going to copy the VLANs to the other side. So let's just configure this one on the other side. Switch to admin Cisco 123 is my password. Go to configuration mode. Configure the VLANs with this, and then we should be okay. And also interface VLAN, I'm just going to copy this and edit it in Notepad with 22 here, and this part is exactly the same. So I'm just going to copy this and go to switch to and paste it in here. Oh, I forgot to say feature HSRP. And after that, I can paste the configuration without any problem. Now, if I say show HSRP, okay, now you can see that this is listening. And on the other side, I should see show HSRP. This is the active one. So right now it says that local state is active. Priority is 120. On the other side, of course, I should remove the priority. I'm just going to say priority is going to be 100. So that's the default. So if I say show HSRP, okay, now I am standby on this side. But this is a control plane. Right now, of course, by data plane, this is going to be exactly the same. So by now, S1 is active for VLAN 10, S2 is standby for VLAN 10. So if L1 sends data using a hash, for example, decides that E11 is the exit interface, it goes to the correct switch. If it says based on hash, I'm sending this on E12 because this is port channel, right? So S2 is going to receive it, and then S2 is going to send it over peer link to S1, and S1 is going to send it upward. But we don't really want this to happen. So what we are going to do is to say peer gateway is configured on a VPC domain. So what I need to do is to say VPC show run VPC. This is easier. So I'm going to say VPC domain 2, and I'm going to say peer gateway configured in here. Also, I said that peer switch should be configured. So I'm just going to configure this on this switch as well. Okay, so do I need to configure peer gateway on L1 and L2? Not really. But peer switch is something that you might want to configure in here in case you are extending this to switch 1. So peer gateway and peer switch, both of them on aggregation switch are a good thing. And then we can say that both of these are sending the same BPDUs downward. And then the convergence is going to be 0, as a matter of fact, in 0 seconds. We don't really need to wait for a couple seconds or maybe less than a second just to reconverge from one side to the other side. And peer switch is a must in here. Peer gateway is going to make sure that these two are forwarding on data plane for HSRP in this case. For control plane, still, if I say show HSRP, this is going to say I'm standby. This means that I'm replying to data plane, I'm forwarding data plane, but I'm not doing anything about replying ARP messages. ARP messages are going to be replied by S1.